After romping the vote that I put out on YouTube and Twitter, I'm back today to bring you guys my Who Makes Team Canada Overwatch World Cup 2019 video. Of course, as with every one of these videos, these are just my own personal thoughts and opinions, so don't take it the wrong way, or personally, if you think differently, and I'd enjoy reading your suggestions down in the comments below. Team Canada might have stumbled early on last year, losing to Team USA in the qualification groups, at the same time losing Jane his bet against Aero. But from here, they would earn some of their pride back at BlizzCon, defeating France in the quarterfinals, thus getting further than Team USA, before then being put down by Team China in the semis, and having to accept the consolation bronze medal after picking up a victory in the third place match against Team UK. Team Canada has had a strong side for a number of years now, as shown by the team's silver medal in 2017, and it's likely they'll be contenders again, with familiar faces. Of course, starting with the committee, there is one notable change, in that Jane has transitioned from being head coach last year to being general manager for 2019, with his fellow Dallas Fuel assistant coach, Tickety, taking on the coaching responsibilities this year, as Karku returns again as community lead. Having been handed a bye straight to BlizzCon, I only need to worry about the final 7-man roster, and although it will be likely incredibly similar to last year due to the amount of Overwatch League talent they have, I've tried my best to talk about some alternatives, even if they aren't realistically going to make the squad, although there really aren't too many to talk about, with actually little talent depth for Team Canada to choose from. Let's start at the most difficult position to determine in the entire side, which is at the main tank position. There are probably only 3 contenders for this spot, in XQC, Chain, and Aqua, but each has a number of pros and cons associated with them that makes this choice a little more difficult. Beginning with XQC, the biggest question we need to ask is whether he actually wants to be involved to begin with. His streaming career is going brilliantly at the moment, playing a variety of different games, although from time to time, and notably more recently, he has returned to Overwatch a few times. And he's also still involved with the Gladiators Legion setup as an emergency sub, so it's not like he's entirely given up on the game. Aside from this, another negative aspect that plagued his competitive career is his consistency. He might have the highest peaks in performance thanks to his aggressive playstyle, but we've seen this in both the Overwatch League and Overwatch World Cup backfire, often due to his aggression being isolated, as it's not always committedly followed by his teammates. That said, just from what I've seen, he has the highest quality of the 3 I've mentioned, as well as having tremendous synergy with most of those involved in Team Canada's setup, with friendships and good relationships with people like Jane, who I'm sure would want him to be involved. Looking away from XQC for a moment, let's now discuss Chain, who's been the second choice for 2 straight years now. From what I've seen of his play, he's alright, but he's never really stood out as a star, having recently ridden the bench for both Montreal Rebellion and now Bermuda. That's before we even discuss his recent controversy surrounding him, which I'll just quickly emphasise I don't understand completely, so take this all with a pinch of salt. As far as I'm aware, he was found to be account sharing or playing as someone else in the open division, and these sorts of issues and distractions are the last thing Canada will want to deal with Blizzard hot on his tail. This leaves their only other option really being Aqua, who recently left XL2 Academy. From what I've read and the short amount of footage I've watched, he appeared to be performing decently and had some good performances there and before on second wind, but nothing that stood out. He's currently 17 but turns 18 before BlizzCon, so he would be eligible. Therefore the choice seems to me very clear, as with his pre-existing synergy and proven potential quality, I'd choose XQC for the main tank position on Team Canada, although that would entirely depend on whether he wanted to do it. If he turned it down though, I would easily go with Aqua over Chain. From here on, the decisions regarding who makes Team Canada become a lot simpler, with the flex tank clearly going to no to the Dallas Fuel. Over the past 2 seasons, he's been the embodiment of consistent quality on D.Va in the Overwatch League, and for the most part, has been one of the few bright spots on Dallas recently. Factoring in his pre-existing synergy with most of his teammates, having been involved last year, alongside the fact that he's now been coached by Jane and Tickety on Dallas Fuel, it seems like a no-brainer, with the pair pushing his ability to flex onto more heroes. We've seen some Zarya and Tracer play from him lately. Having had a quick look around, someone who I could see being involved in the tryouts process is Icy from Contenders Team Triumph, who's seemingly been performing well, has little chance to really compete with the quality and connections of note at this moment in time. Equally like the flex tank position, the support role and positions will likely remain the same as last year, starting with Bunny at the main support role. Yes, he hasn't been involved for most of this Overwatch League season, with the Outlaws preferring Boink to be running Lucio over him, although I think his Mercy's still solid, and he's been unfortunate with the recent GOATS meta to see little game time. If needed as well, he's shown he is capable on flexing onto Zenyatta or other supports if required. Ultimately, just like everyone else I've mentioned, he already has a great amount of synergy already put in place with his teammates, and consequently should make the side, and he appears to be the obvious choice of a very small field. Elsewhere, one main support from Tier 2 that was recommended to me was Zolek of Grunto Esports, which used to be called Chicken Contendies. Obviously the man lacks as much experience and hasn't been able to prove himself at a top level, but with Banny seeing little recent action, this is one of the few spots where a brilliant performance during tryouts could actually end up having a major impact on the roster. Again at the flex support position though, I'd likely choose Grimzo from Contenders Team Envy. Last year he played the position effectively and didn't look too out of place or a major weakness, despite everyone else playing in the Overwatch League at the time. And Envy's recent performances have been really strong as well, as they won NA Contenders at the start of this year, before falling just short at the Atlantic Showdown, where they were taken down by Fusion University in the final. Of course he has this synergy with everyone else that would give the side a head start, and the fact he's involved with Team Envy and affiliated to Dallas, he'll most likely be the preferred choice of Jane and Tickety on the coaching staff. That brings us on to the DPS position, where just like last year, I'd be shocked if they don't bring out 3 options with them. You couldn't go wrong by taking the exact same lineup this year from the Overwatch League talent of Agilities, Mangachu and Shawfall. For the trio, it's been a bit of a rollercoaster ride so far this year, with Agility struggling with the Valiant at first, but with recent stylistic changes, the season and his team play more DPS. Both his performance and that of his team have vastly improved, making him one of the strongest outfits in this league right now. Mangachu, after what felt like an eternity, finally completed his long and arduous journey to the Overwatch League, joining the Toronto Defiant a week ago to the delight of his many fans and supporters, putting in some solid displays during his first week of action. On heroes like Farah and Torp, he can fill the gaps left in the hit scan and projectile hero pools of the other two, as he did last year. Lastly, with Shawfall, you can cover the final holes in this DPS attack, and whilst this season hasn't always shown him at his best, particularly when flexing off of DPS, his quality is still clearly there and respected, making him a likely addition to this DPS trio. But who else could look to break through in the trials? One name I've heard a lot is Azir of Second Wind. He's been playing well and at least could show off his potential in the trials, but will continue to struggle to break through this well-established trio and will likely need to keep grinding through contenders before becoming a real option. But let me know if I've missed anyone out majorly down below. Remembering that I'm 37 and Bishu will not be eligible, as the pair are still considered as South Korean citizens. So to recap my final 7-man squad for Team Canada, I would choose XQC at main tank, Note at flex tank, Banny at main support, Crimzo at flex support, and the ever-reliable DPS trio of Agilities, Mangachu and Shawfall. Meaning this would be exactly the same team that was run last year, although it is strange with the meta the current way it is. The side overall looks a lot weaker than it had at this time last year. And with that, we've reached the end of my Team Canada Overwatch World Cup video, and I'd like to thank you for watching. Next on my list is my polls runner-up, Team Finland. So if you enjoyed and don't want to miss out, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter for this continuing competitive Overwatch coverage and content. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.